Hi everyone, welcome to episode 2 of this magazine series. Today we're going to be looking at the Breathe. This is an Australian magazine and it's published bi-monthly. We are paying $12.95 and in New Zealand it's going for $14.95. If you look at the back of the magazine, you can find all the information on where to subscribe, and looking at it, there's a number if you want to subscribe when you're in Australia, a New Zealand number, and there's also an international number. So that tells me that you will definitely be able to find this magazine overseas. And there's also a website where you can go into and you can get more information and also subscribe if you prefer not phoning. This particular issue is issue 15, so it's the latest one on the shelf. And when I look at this cover, I find a lot of inspiration from it. Sometimes, well, to be honest, each and every Breathe magazine that I've bought, the covers are always exquisite. And it's either the color combinations that they've used that are giving me ideas to try out in an art journal page or a journal entry, to use those colors in a spread. And looking at this one, I can see that they've done a lot of mark making, for example, in the path, the grass, the tree, the bushes there at the back. And that inspires me to go and create something in my art journal and also use those types of mark making and patterns to create something that speaks to me. Right, let's go to the inside of the magazine and see what's happening. So on the inside of the magazine, they were giving you some information about the cover artist. So the person that illustrated this cover is Jane, and she's got a degree in illustration. She does a lot of children illustrations and packaging, and she's very obsessed with detail and mindful about it. And they also give you Jane's Instagram account if you would like to follow her on there. Looking at the contents, there are always 5 sections. It's well-being, living, mindfulness, creativity, and escaping. I feel that the articles in this magazine is very informative, and every time I read it, I feel like it's food for my soul. I'm very positive, you're getting answers, and you just have a very clear mind after going through the magazine. And I'm also getting a lot of inspiration for art and just the beautiful images. It's just a feel-good magazine all over. And each section is divided into like a cover page where they will have a heading. So this section is all going to be about well-being. It's always a beautiful photo, or sometimes it's an illustration that somebody's done. And it's always very inspiring, beautiful colors, and you just feel so peaceful after looking at it. This article is all about addicted to work. I love the images that they've used here, and looking at this page, I can see this in one of my files or folders as a divider. So let's say, for example, it's got something to do with my admin. I might type out a title, stick it there, put it in a page protector, and I think that will look beautiful in there. I also love, I can see that they've used watercolor, so I can grab inspiration from that where they've placed the shadows, and I can practice something like that in my journal. Or I can just cut the pieces apart and use it separately on a page. I think the important thing is that if you're grabbing inspiration from here and you're trying to replicate this or replicate pieces of it, to bring your own yourself in there. As you start doing it, I think it's anyway very difficult to copy something exactly as it is. Your own style will always come through. But just don't try and sell something that you have copied from another artist. Or if you post it on social media, just give that person credit. Or if, like, for example, this, I don't know who's done this because there's basically no artist name or anything. So I would just say that I got inspiration from the Breathe magazine issue 15. And then you would be completely fine. I mean, that is how we learn. We learn by copying things. We don't just know how to draw something. We can't always just pull it from memory. We need to see something and then use that as inspiration or as a reference to learn to draw a chair or a desk or a plant or something like that. Continuing on, this is also such a cute image. It's exactly like I've said with the previous one. I will be cutting out pieces here and using it in journals. I'll show you an example of what I've done previously. This is all from magazines that I've been cutting out, and I've used it in this journal entry. And I've done the same with this one. I got this image and that blueprint paper also from a magazine, and I've just cut it out and collaged it on this piece of this journal entry. So you can definitely use the pieces like that as well. That's also a beautiful image, and this is how to deal with tough times. This article is about time to live. So all of these articles are about well-being. I love this article. It was about to be as happy as a child, and you have to sometimes go back to your childhood passions to open up that joy that you've got. So they say whether it was collecting stamps or tap dancing, like revisit that passion, because we sometimes forget how much joy we got out of it. That is a stunning image. I love that watercolor effect there. I would definitely play around in my journal to try and get those colors to work the same way, and I would just cut this out and use it in a journal entry. This is all about permanent change, and that's a cute image as well. Here's another one that I love. I love this pot plant and the colors that they've used. I will definitely try and paint something like this. If I look at that, I would start just doing different pot plants in my I've got a little art journal with watercolor paper in, so I would try and just do different pot plants. It might come out the same way like that, or completely different. I might just copy the pot and the plants inside would be different, or do a different shape pot and then do the same type of plants, something like that. So I'll also be cutting that out and definitely be using it. This picture really inspires me to work with gouache. If I look at it, it looks like it's done with gouache. It's very like pop culture art. I don't know, I think that's what you call it. Very graphic. And I can see that they've also used pencil in here. So I definitely love this page and the color scheme that they've used on it. I would never think to use the pinks and the blues, the reds, the yellows together, but I love it. Even something like that grabs my attention. So maybe I will do a pot plant that I got inspiration from in the previous pages, but then add a plant like that in there. And that's just totally for my own inspiration to practice my watercolor skills or gouache skills or sketching skills. That's just to develop myself. This over here, I would create a pocket out of it. Here's an example where I've done it before. This is a magazine cutout, and I've just stuck it to this journaling card, and I've put it through the sewing machine. You obviously don't have to do that. That's just something that I enjoy doing. And I've put some lace on there with a button. So this is a little pocket I can put something in there and journal at the back. You can also decorate it even more by using, maybe I would start decorating this when I'm actually going to use it in my journal. So you can definitely add a paper clip there to just make it a little bit more interesting, or add a stamp. I usually do the base of it, and then when I journal, it depends what I'm journaling about to decorate it even further. You can also add a title at the top by using a Dymo labeler, or just something that you're writing and sticking there. You can do some wood veneers. You can put the word notes on there, Or you can even use these cute Tim Holtz stickers and stick something over there. You can leave that off and put the stickers here somewhere at the bottom. So it's definitely something that you can incorporate like that. You can incorporate exactly the same way. That is absolutely gorgeous. This is all about natural sleeping oils if you're into that. And this I'll definitely cut out and just use as it is, because I don't want to ruin it. I love it as it is, and that's what I will do with it. You also get a Teen Breathe. How beautiful is this cover? I wish I could draw something like this. It's so inspirational. Again, love the colors. I mean, they just know how to work with colors in this magazine. And something like with this background, I would use this heart punch or maybe a scallop punch and just punch out a whole lot of hearts or scallops. And then I'll usually store it in a container like this. And you can use it if you do scrapbooking, journaling, I mean any creative project that you're doing, you can use those punches on. The next section is all about living. That is so beautiful. It's got beautiful soft tones. I love that. This article was all about reprioritizing joy. And that is so cute. Definitely be cutting that out. This was about if you want to change your career and you want to head into a new direction. They've also got some photography in here. So they have taken photos about the astronomy, and it's photographer of the year, something like that. That is very cool, and you can definitely get inspiration from this as well. Beautiful colors. That photo is, wow, stunning. And something else that I love about this magazine is that you do get like little products that they're advertising, but all the products are always environmentally friendly. It's sustainable. They're using sustainable resources, and it's not been tested on animals. So I love that they are looking into those things. This section is all about mindfulness. Another beautiful floral image. And I love the border here. I would definitely cut this out, and I'm thinking of adding washi tape at the back and then just storing it in a pouch, and then it will be small washi strips that I can use on the go. I'll maybe even put some in my traveler's notebook because I do have a pouch there. That's cute. Love this image. We'll definitely be using this. This is all about taking a road trip, and you've even got a page here where you can fill in like plan your road trip. So it's like destination, where you're going, which route would you take, what landmarks would you see, like timing, what time do you need to be at your destination, are you taking support with, are you going by yourself, or do you want somebody to go with you and they can help you drive. And then just like additional thoughts, spending money, fuel, and things that you need to consider. Then this is something interesting as well. It's 30 days of use, so it's perforated and you can tear this out. And this is like a self-care page that you can use to be kind to yourself and look after yourself. You can do it in any order. You don't have to do it in this order, and then you can just tick it off or scratch it out as you do it. For example, it's like day 1 is forgive yourself today for a past transgression. 3 is spend 15 minutes practicing yoga or meditating. 7 is take 5 long inhale and exhale breaths. 16, snuggle up indoors on a rainy day. 18, call a friend or family member you haven't spoken to in a while. 9, rest day, do nothing and don't feel guilty about it. So I thought that was cute, and it's got this beautiful quote at the back: when you recover or discover something that nourishes your soul and brings joy, care enough about yourself to make room for it in your life. And that is very important. So if you find something that is just filling your soul and it's like food for you, make time for it. And you need to look after yourself, fill your own cup before you can fill somebody else's cup. That is something that I definitely believe in. Love the colors around this border as well. Very beautiful. The next section is all about creativity, one of my favorites. And this is the magic of letter writing, why it might just be the key to living a more creative life. And they have given you an example here of putting pen to paper and writing a letter just to get those creative juices flowing. So an example here is they have written a letter to the fear that they have. So I'll read you the example quickly. It's like, "Dear Lisa, I'm your fear and this is what I want to tell you. Writing for a living isn't exactly bringing in the big bucks, is it? How's the life you're trying to live even viable? If you think you can gallivant around the globe like some digital nomad, you're just not anchored in reality. This book you keep procrastinating over, how's that sample chapter coming along? Where's your publishing deal? That other grand project of yours, leaving the city for a quiet coastal town, you know the chances of that working out are slim. P.S. On a personal level, you know you'll never find your soulmate, don't you?" And then you need to like allocate some time and think about the things that you're afraid of, and then you will be writing a letter like that. So it would say, for example, "Dear Tracy, I'm your fear and this is what I want to tell you." So you will continue and you'll be writing as your fear. And there are a few examples to that you can follow on that. So you can use it like that if you enjoy writing or you want to experiment more with those side of things. But if you don't want to, you can definitely try and cover this up. Maybe using some gesso, go over the writing, do some collage pieces, and then you can write about a memory over here and insert it in your journal. So I have done something similar to that before. This is from a previous Breathe magazine. And there was actually also something like a description there that you had to write a letter to your past self with the knowledge that you've gained to this stage. And then there was also another one where you had to write a letter to your future self with the knowledge that you've gained to date. And I have just taken some tea-dye paper, I've stamped this out and I've stuck it over there, put it through my sewing machine. That's totally optional, don't have to do it. I've got a fabric piece here and I've just put some stamps here at the bottom, and I can use this as writing paper, as a journal entry. So if I've experienced something that I want to remember or whatever my entry is about, I can just use this as normal writing paper and I can tip it into my journal. I can fold it up and insert it in an envelope and tip that into my journal. So you can play around with it and cover it up and make it into something different that you can use. So that's definitely an option. You can play around with it, maybe using a strip of washi tape and then adding some images over here. You can even leave the handwriting and that can be a background for the piece that you're creating here, and then you can still write completely something different that you want to write about. So that's something that you can try out because it's so beautiful, like these floral images that you can see peeking through here. Stunning. Then we've got another creative article here about watercolors, and that's very cute. Love the brush. Look at that. Like if I see this, I definitely want to cut it out and use it, but I also now want to go and draw my art supplies and play around with it. I don't know, I just get so much inspiration when I look at this magazine. This is pick up your watercolors. So they're giving you some instructions on how to draw florals and how to paint them. So get out your journal and practice it. It's so fun. They're showing you how to draw this house and how to paint it. So it's step-by-step instructions. I love it. And this is all about pictures. What does your family photo album reveal? Some more washi strips that we can do. And then this is all about how to fold a whale out of paper. So it's a little bit of origami. So they've got step-by-step instructions, and then they're giving you the paper to do it. Again, you can fold whales with this. You can use this as scrapbook paper. You can use your punches on it. You can make an envelope out of it, work it into a signature. I mean, you can use it as writing paper, document your memory on there, and just keep that as it is, or add some photos to it. I mean, there's just so much you can do with that. This is something interesting that I maybe want to look into. I don't know. This is Creative Bug, and it's very similar to Skillshare, I think, where you join and then you get expert instructors, unlimited access, new classes released every day, classes for every kind of maker, downloadable patterns, templates, and recipes. So I think it's more like just on the creative side. I think Skillshare, I'm not sure, is we can learn about any skill that you would like to, where I think this is more geared towards creativity, any creative skill that you would like to learn. The next section is all about escape. So escape is about traveling and looking at interesting places. Love that picture over there. I'll definitely be using that. Oh, isn't that just cute? This is also something that inspires me to draw something similar and maybe just change it up a bit. I'm still a beginner at drawing though, so I definitely need a lot of guidance and a lot of reference images. And then we're almost getting to the end of it. So the last bit is always about traveling and escaping and experiencing life and seeing different places or things, anything like that. Very cute that as well for something sea themed. Look at all those shells. And then we're getting to the end of it. So the next issue will be on sale the 5th of August. And at the back of it, they're just giving you some of the images that are in here that you can use. So we will never have enough time to go through all the magazines. That's just impossible. But I wanted to show you some previous briefs that I've bought before and the beautiful covers that they have. This is issue 12, issue 14, and issue 13. And I've got some post-it notes just here, just a few of them, and I'm quickly going to flick through it and just show you what this magazine's really got to offer. I mean, look at that. I find the articles to be very informative, and it's a very feel-good magazine, like I've said before, but also the images are stunning. I find a lot of creative inspiration from it. And every time I go through this magazine, I just come up with new ideas, how I can use everything. And I find this is one of my main inspirations these days. It's definitely one of my favorite magazines, and I feel that it's very underrated in a sense. I haven't heard a lot about it, people speaking about it or reading it, using the images. And I think it's definitely a top contender. This is my favorite cover to date. Some more washi borders. And look at those beautiful birds. Stunning. I try not to buy every magazine that I see. I mean, that's just impossible. But every time this magazine comes out and I look at it, I just have to have it because there's always something in there. These cards are perforated, so you can, there are 9 cards, 3, 6, 9. There are 9 cards on a page, and I would stick a photo on there and slip it into a pocket or tip it into my journal. You can use it as Project Life cards. Love this. It is so cute. And I mean, look at that. I can see myself doing a background in my art journal and then cutting this out and sticking it on the background and then doing some stenciling and just incorporating it. This makes me want to go and paint something right now. If I look at that, using this color scheme and painting something completely different, or painting something similar to this but in a different color scheme. And I've got a few more in here. We're almost at the end. This is such a funny page because it's just mark making, but I can see these beautiful flowers in there, and it seems so simple, but it's also so intricate at the same time. It evokes just something in me. Some beautiful soft images. Another thing that I can see in an art journal, doing a background and then cutting out this girl, inserting her, doing some stamping, a quote, something like that. This makes me want to have gouache, and I don't own any gouache, but just looking at it, I just want gouache now. I love the flat color that you can get from it, and then you can go in with pencil and add those little details, or take a fine brush and go in with gouache and build it up. So just makes you want to buy things or try things. This is such an interesting article, and I wanted to show it to you because this is about an artist that uses paper, paint and wire, and she creates these beautiful flowers. I mean, it's stunning. Just look at all the details on it. She's doing some insects on that book. This looks so real. It's stunning. And then you get some postcards that you can, they're also perforated, tear them out and do some journaling at the back. Another one of those art journal spreads that I can see and do some journaling in there. That's a lovely idea to try out with different things. And yes, we are right at the end of this. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and that you found some inspiration or new ideas, or maybe a new magazine that you've never known about. And if you have read this magazine before and you've bought it, let me know in the comments down below. I would like to know how many of you know of this magazine and that are actually a fan of it too. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! It's about astronomy photographer of the year. Photographer, that sounds so funny. I'm a photographer. Would you say that? I'm a photographer. Photographer. Oh my gosh. A photographer. Struggle up. Snuggle, not struggle, sorry.